Hello, US 101 class, and welcome to the Spring Late Start US History class. And in this announcement, of course, I'm posting this before school officially starts. I'm hoping this will be helpful for you in just preparing for the class. You'll notice that I've had the syllabus up for a few days now. So feel free to look over that. Take a look at important notes about the class, and keep in mind that occasionally I may change up some of what's written in the syllabus, but you'll have plenty of time to you'll have time to see that things have changed. I'm not going to spring something up on you last minute. Which leads to me something that's very important that I'll go over again. I do not use Canvas calendar. There's a reason for that I'm just going to keep to myself, but I'll say it's to your advantage, okay? In the sense of the arrangement and the way that I deal with late work. So here's what you need to keep in mind. I'm going to post, when I open up the modules for each week, and I'll explain that more on our first week of class, like just the whole logistics of everything in the class. But you'll see there's going to be a weekly working objectives link at the top of each module when we start the class, and it'll tell you what to expect in terms of the work, the discussions, the video notes, and the papers that you write. And so that's what you're going to want to follow the most, because that will always be the most updated. So basically, once I open up a class each week, the weekly work objectives link is what you want to go to first, and just make sure that everything is still the same. I keep the work weeks, the deadlines very consistent, Thursdays and Sundays, okay? And it doesn't change. Those are the days. So you'll see, again, as I open this up, but what I want you just to remember is once this class starts, I'm going to have the first module open up, and you're going to want to immediately take a look at the work that's due and make sure that you're not waiting for something to pop up on your screen. You're gonna need to plan this out for your week. Now, this leads me to another thing to point out. This is a late start class, and I'll be honest with you, late starts are not easy classes. They're not necessarily the easiest for me as an instructor, and they're not easiest for you as a student, in the sense that we're doing the same amount of work that you do in a normal semester in a condensed amount of time. So I'm not teaching you less information. You're having less time to do it, but you're also getting it done quicker. So the mindset that you need to come into this with is that you're going to have a shorter amount of time. You're starting later, and you're ending the semester earlier than those having a regular semester. But that requires you to put a lot more work in each week to do the class, okay? And there's no way around this. There's no way to cut corners. As you get into the work routine, you'll see that usually, especially when I see if the majority of the class is following my guidelines and doing hard work, I will sometimes give less work or pull back on some. I will never add to, the work that you have to do, okay? So there'll never be any tricks or surprises. You're not going to be doing multiple choice problems. You're going to be writing a lot of papers, though, and not long papers. But I have very strict guidelines to what needs to be done. I don't grade it hard. I'm not a hard grader, but I have some guidelines that are not something I don't compromise on. We will talk more about that later. I will go into a lot of details on the papers. And this is the thing that I think a lot of students struggle with the most, because there's a lot of resistance to writing. And it's not always enjoyable for a lot of folks. And I understand that. Okay. In fact, I didn't do that well writing in college all the way up into grad school until kind of the end of my grad school experience. I started finally getting a better rhythm at writing. But I'll go into more details about that, okay? Most of the students that have had me tell me by the end of the semester that after they get the routine down, they really enjoy how easy it is to follow, and I'm always creating a pathway for you to have success. My goal is for you to get an A, if you want to put the hard work into it. And you're not going to have any other obstacles that are going to be able to prevent that. If you're determined to, succeed in this class, and you communicate with me when you have struggles, we're going to get you to the grade that you deserve, and you're going to earn it on your own. But, sometimes you need a little bit of help, a little clarity. Sometimes you need a day or two to work on something or to fix something. I'm going to be able to do all of that for you. I lived my life as a single parent for some time, for many years. I understand the struggles of living as a single parent, as just being a parent. And currently I have a partner with a 5-year-old. So I understand there's life outside of class, and it's hard, especially if you're working full time, you have a family, and you're trying to do a cram course. But at the end of the day, I have to still grade you based on you doing the work, right? And so again, what I'm saying, we're gonna be putting a lot of work together. But if we're all determined to do our best, then everything will work out. Okay. So those are the main things that I wanted to kind of get you a heads up on. So I will explain the process of how we split up the work next week, and I'll go into more details about it. This is the main part I wanted to get you just kind of in that mindset to be ready for the work. You'll notice that you don't have to buy any books. The books, there's links to free books provided. One of the books is this People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn. If you don't like using digital books, this is a very easy book to get. A lot of used bookstores sell this for just very little. There might be something at the school library, but so again, you have a link to this for free. But if you like having a hard copy, this is not a book that's hard to get, and it's very affordable. I also have a textbook that is linked on there as well. Now, the reason why I have two links, I have a textbook that's more like a traditional history, and then there's the Howard Zinn. The Howard Zinn I will use more for discussions. Keep in mind that this is a very famous history book. It's also infamous depending on who you talk to. Howard Zinn, he's passed away, but he is what you would call a leftist historian, and he is taking an alternative approach to U.S. history. But here's what I wanted to say. I've taught. I used to teach a night class at MJC in person years ago, maybe almost a decade ago, and I had many conservative students that still enjoyed the text because it's set up in a way for you to engage and debate about historic events, and I don't see it as a hate your country book the way that it gets portrayed in by some pundits, but it's more like, okay, what about workers, average working class people? How did the founding fathers or some characters add up compared to the average person that was a farmer, or unions, or women, indigenous people? Okay, right? So all these other groups. So I just think it's a much more inclusive historical textbook that allows you to engage with the history in a way. And so this leads me to say this other thing. You don't have to agree with anything here. Like, you're not graded based on your politics aligning with whatever you would assume that my politics are. You're graded based on doing the work and sticking to it. Now, in regards to the discussions in particular, I point this out, and I'll probably say it again. The Constitution gives you the right to free speech, but in the context of a school, you have to have manners. You have to be polite. Okay? So I haven't actually had really that much of a problem with this. The biggest problem I ever had was somebody who had a view that was similar to mine about a particular topic, but just really started attacking a lot of other students in a very aggressive way. And I had to write to that student and say, you know, I'm going to have to delete these, or do you want to apologize? You can't talk to other students this way. And that student got a little embarrassed, but understood and actually went back and communicated with the other students, and it actually worked out fine. But this is my whole point, right? You can have your own opinion about things, but it's got to be respectful. Now, here's the other thing I ask. Don't be so sensitive either. Like, if we're going to have a discussion and there's going to be a point of view that you can put of your own, there's going to be people who disagree with you. This is a reality. So I know in America this is very difficult right now for people to have different opinions and not, you know, cancel each other out. But we're going to try to make that work here. And again, I want to say that I haven't really had much of a problem with that, but I always want to address it every semester. So basically, I think I'll just leave it here. I think you have the general idea for what to expect of the class. I will, even though the class officially starts on the 18th, which I think there's officially a holiday on a Monday, I'm going to open this class up on a Sunday. So I'll open it up a little bit early. And you can start earlier, or you can, you know, you're not obligated to start getting on top of things until the 18th, but I will open up the class on a Sunday, and I'm just letting you know that Thursday will be the first set of assignments that you're going to have to do. So we're going to hit the ground running. So just get yourself mentally prepared for working from the beginning, right away. Okay. I'm here to support you with all your needs in regards to that. I just want to encourage communication. Don't ever be embarrassed to communicate with me. Write to me on Canvas directly, which is better that's the best way to communicate, because it shows me, you know, a student has just written what class that you're from, because I have other classes. And you can write to me at all hours, because it doesn't wake me up or anything. You know, if you have a thought at 2 in the morning, you can write on Canvas, and then I will look and see, you know, it shows me which student, the time you wrote it, and I can just address it. So that's it. Anyways, I'll end it here. I hope you're having a good week, and I look forward to meeting you all starting next week.